Hey y'all, what's up? It's Coach Mara. I am back here in our lovely little chill talking area. This video was actually requested by one of you guys in a previous video of mine. I'll leave their username here. I don't know how to say it off the top of my head. But they were asking about a diving tutorial. How do you dive properly? And I get a lot of comments about that. More so when coaching, less so in this digital space. But diving is a big question mark for a lot of people. It is not as technical as you would think. It's a lot, how do I say this? It depends a lot on who you are, like as a human being, because it is so personal. But there's a few basic ways to go about it if you don't know where to start. So I am going to talk here, but I'm going to show you these clips of me actually doing these, like different ways of diving, but I'm just going to talk and editing Mara is going to like do that. So the first thing you want to do when practicing diving is initially when you first start doing it, it feels really scary. It feels scarier than it is, but you have to think about in a game situation, your adrenaline is at an all-time high in a really competitive game when it's evenly matched. So at a certain point, you don't even think about what you're doing cognitively. Once you get to a certain level, you just react. And that reaction is normally a dive or a dig or something that you just do it. You don't really think about it. But in order to do that, you need to build your skill level or skill base first. When I teach diving, I do it like this. It's a bit of an unorthodox way of doing it. Again, with all of my videos here online, everyone does these differently, and everyone thinks that there's more than one way to do it, which there is. So take my advice with a grain of salt. I am one coach who does it a certain way. Another coach will do it a different way. I learned this technique off of TikTok, actually. Coaching TikTok is my favorite place because I get so many good ideas. So I found this one day. It was really great. And I used it with the last team I coached, and it really helped, apparently. So how I actually do it. You're gonna need to find a pair of long socks. So either a pair of athletic socks or like just some like really nice long socks, doesn't matter. And you wanna put them on your hands. So you wanna spread them down roughly past your elbows, ideally, but if not, at least covering your forearms. If you don't have socks, a long t-shirt or a long sleeve shirt is fine. You just want something that's going to cover your wrists and your forearms, because if you're practicing diving, you want to get the motion first before you apply it to a game situation. So you have two socks. I'm just going to talk to myself because this is the best way for me to do this. And I do, in fact, feel like an idiot. But that's okay, because I'm in my home, and I love my home. And I know I put these on the wrong hands, because one's supposed to go on the right foot, one's supposed to go on the left foot, but I don't care. You have your long socks, you have your smooth surface, great. Now you're going to want to find a long-ish hallway or area that you can extend yourself fully in. And you're going to want to start on one end of the hallway. You're going to have your arms ready out like you were about to, like you're just standing, feet shoulder width apart. Your hands are out like Superman almost. And you're going to raise one foot. Doesn't matter which one. Normally, if you're right-handed, you would raise your left foot, but if you're left-handed, you raise your right foot. It's just a comfort thing. You can try both. I raised my left foot, so you raise a foot to kind of dangle and make like this almost horizontal line with your arms and your legs, with your body in the middle. So your body should look like this, with one leg in the air and your arms kind of pointing downwards. Like this, comes out. I'm gonna need some space. So you go down like this. Next, you want to bend your legs. This is all done very slowly, by the way. This is not something that you just do it really, like, No. Please do this slowly. Please do the motion slowly so then you can figure out how it's supposed to feel. And then once you get a bit more comfortable with the whole falling, controlled falling is what we used to call it, then you can go a little faster. But please go slowly. What you're going to want to do is you're in that kind of horizontal position. Think about it like when people do the worm, like the dance, you know, the worm on the floor. Think of it like that, like a wave. You want your hands to touch first, then your wrists, then your forearms, then your arm, and then your shoulders, and going down. You should almost feel like a penguin because you're doing it with both hands, right? If you go down with both hands, you should feel like a dolphin or a penguin. And when I said that to the group I coached, they all laughed at me. But that's what it should feel like. It should feel kind of awkward. You should feel ridiculous when practicing this because it's obviously at a very slow pace. So you want to go down on your hands, go down to your wrists, to your forearms, onto your chest and your shoulders, and then your stomach. And then extend your hand as much as possible. That's one way to do it. That is the way that I prefer to do this, just for diving in general. I normally dive down with one hand, but I do that same kind of motion. Another way that I was taught, which I didn't like as much, is because it hurt. It hurt more because diving, you're gonna get bruised. It's inevitable. You're hitting the floor. What do you expect? You're gonna get bruised. Sorry. It sucks, but it is what it is. This next method is a lot more impact on your hips. And some people find this one more natural. I didn't. I found it very awkward for me, but I'm pretty lanky and pretty tall, so it just felt weird. The one where I was a penguin felt better. But be careful, if you go too fast with the penguin one, you can kind of rock back and forth if you do it too quickly, and that hurts a lot. Anyways, this next method is going down on your side. So you want to start in kind of like a squat position, still with those socks on your hands. And whatever side feels more comfortable to you, I normally go with my right side because I'm right-handed. But you want to start in like a squat position, like an athletic stance. You want to go down on kind of you kind of have to make an arch with your arm and your legs. And the motion is you go hand first, then wrist, then elbow, side of your ribs, and then hip. But it's not both hips that are hitting the ground, it's just the one. So you're leaning onto one side and going down. You're not going forwards, you're more so going to the side. This is the second one. I hate this one. So you go here, your hands are out, then you take one hand and you go down and like that. This one sucks. I hate this one. At least for me, because my knee always hurts. So just to see what's going on here, my foot goes back, make a long line, down and out. I'm still not the best at this, but like I said, whatever you gotta do to get the job done, you gotta do. And then the other one, I hate this one, is here, and then down. Again, both are great. It's all personal preference, and it all depends on your body, the way that your bones are structured, like my hips aren't super awesome, and my knee isn't super great. So that side one really hurts a lot more than the other one. But that's my preference, and that's the one I found to be the most comfortable. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Once you've gotten the motions down on like a very slow level, like think like snail speed here, kids, okay? Like we are not reinventing the wheel here. You are just coming down super, super slowly to just learn how it should feel and how it should be like. Then what you want to do next is for like a progression kind of thing is you're going to want to go to an athletic stance, like you're actually about to play, like you're about to pass. And I'm sorry if this is a weird angle. You're about to pass and you want that nice deep athletic stance. You're maybe a foot from the floor and you want to just react. You want to imagine, this is all like no ball, no nothing. You want to go down as fast as you can and see how that feels. If there's something that feels wrong or that feels kind of choppy, try and smooth it out. So if you feel like, oh, my hand's hitting the ground first, then it's my arm, then it's my elbow, then it's my hip, like you want it to feel like more of a smooth curved line versus like this kind of choppy one where you're hitting the ground in all these different areas, but it's not smooth. That's why you have those socks on your hands, okay? You want it to be as smooth as possible. And then eventually once you get a little more comfortable with it, it becomes a little more of a smoother motion, less of a choppy motion. That's when you want to try and involve a ball in some ways. So the best way I would recommend doing this is just go to a gym. I know this is kind of tough for people, especially right now since it's summer. When tryouts do come around in September, literally before practice, just try it. Take a ball and just try diving. Have a friend like toss you some hard ones. Ask your coaches if they have any other tips for diving, if they can do any diving drills. Yeah, that's the best way to do it, unfortunately. If you don't have a big space, like me down here, I don't have a lot of space for me to do a lot of drills inside, so I would have to go outside, but outside is concrete. Concrete hurts, so probably not the best one to do. Another thing people really like doing when we're working on diving is weirdly going and playing beach volleyball. And beach volleyball is kind of an anomaly. It's kind of different. So diving isn't the exact same because you have sand. And if you tried to do that smooth motion with sand, you're going to dig your arms into the sand and you're going to kick up sand in your face. So it's not quite the same, but just for those of us that are, hi, my name is Mara and I am very tall and I was terrified of falling. Middles have a really tough time with falling to the ground, like just hitting the ground at all. It takes a long time to be comfortable just flinging yourself into that kind of reaction. Every single middle I've coached always has problems with this because my theory is, I don't really know if this is true, but this is my theory, is that middles, we're very tall, right? That's why we're middles. Which also doesn't make sense. Anyways, so we're very tall, and even when we're in the athletic stance, it's still a long way down to the ground. Like we're talking a good 2 or 3 feet for some people. Me, it's like 1.5 feet because I'm a little bit on the shorter side of middles, but it's a long way down. So getting comfortable falling and like, I'm gonna fall, it's going to hurt, but it's fine because I'm getting the ball. That kind of mentality switch is really tough for people. It takes time. Be patient with yourself. Don't rush. Just keep practicing. If you're still like, I really hate diving, just do it nice and slowly. Go nice and low. Do the whole motion. Try the other method. If you tried one method and you're like, I don't like how this feels, try the other one. If that one feels a little bit better, then that's probably the one you should stick with. Neither is going to feel awesome because you're hitting the ground, but one that is slightly feels less bad, that made sense. The one that feels less bad is the one you want to go with. That's the moral of the story. So, editing Mara, she's got this. She's going to hopefully give you some good examples of me diving. Again, I'm not a pro at diving. Remember, I'm a middle, not a libero, who's an absolute killer at diving, but gets the job done. So that's all that matters. It doesn't have to be the prettiest, just has to work and not kill your hips. Oh, if you have any other video requests or if you have anything else you would like to see from me, especially with the upcoming school year, school season just around the corner, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. I'm really looking forward to seeing your guys' feedback. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see all y'all in my next video. Good job, team.
I hope that helps.